Alrighty, good morning. We've got a big day today. I don't think the Kansas City Scouts are playing, but it's going to happen. Of the pennants that I have, that Kansas City Scouts one has been waiting for a while. My wife actually bought me that for Christmas. Those Christmas presents. So it's a wool one, so that one's probably worth more than a lot of the rest of them are. But hey, that being said, let's go ahead and get the show started with Boston and the New York Islanders. So the Boston Bruins 43-20-9, New York Islanders 42-23-7. On the road, Boston's 15-13-6, and at home, the New York Islanders 22-11-4. Over their last 10, Boston's 7-3. They won their last game. So after a 19-game streak where they had points in every game, they lost 3 in a row. Now they got back on track with their last win. We'll see if that carries over tonight. Since it's on the road, you just never know. The New York Islanders are 6-4 in their last 10. They won their last game. They're back in first in their division. Of course, they need to win tonight. They kind of need Washington to lose. I think this battle could very well go down to the last day of the year. I still favor Washington out of the two, but that's probably more along the lines of what we've seen over the last few years than anything else. Scoring over the last 10 games. Patrice Bergeron, 6 goals, 5 assists. Marchand, 7 goals, 9 assists. Krejci, 5 goals, 5 assists. Danton Heinen with 8 assists. Louis DeBrusk, 3 goals, 2 assists. McAvoy has 2 goals, 4 assists. And Brandon Carlo with 2 assists. On the Islanders side of things, Matthew Barzal, 7 assists. Anders Lee, 6 goals. Nelson, 3 goals, 3 assists. Valtteri Filppula has 3 goals and an assist. Bailey has 3 assists. Nick Leddy, 2 goals, 3 assists. And Pollock has a goal and 2 assists. On the goaltending side of things, let me see who's confirmed this morning. I know it was confirmed last night when I did up the boards. All right, so on the Boston side of things, Tuukka Rask's been confirmed. That makes Halak the backup. He's 3-1 over their last 10, 930 save percentage. Rask is 4-2, but his save percentage is 887. We need we can't have Tuukka Rask going through another slump. That's not a thing. On the Islanders side, it looks like Leonard is likely. Grice is 5-3 in their last 10 with a 931 save percentage. Leonard 1-1 with an 890 save percentage, so they need to get him in there. Boston's won both meetings between these teams this year. Let's see how the third matchup turns out. For me, it's a 50-50 proposition because, again, Boston did have that great streak. They came down off of it. They win their last game. We'll see whether or not they're starting a new streak. The Tampa Bay Lightning clinching the division, the league, the universe last night. It leaves, Boston still has to worry about Toronto-ish. I think if Toronto was playing better, I think that might motivate Boston. The problem is if you need your opponent to motivate you, you've got problems and you're not going to win in the playoffs. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But overall, yeah, it depends. Boston's offense versus the Islanders' defense. Next up, Florida. 32-28-12 in against Dallas, who are 37-29-6. Now, with Dallas being at home, that makes them a team that you could favor in this one. That being said, Florida not going down easily. On the road, they're 14-16-6. At home, Dallas is 21-12-3. Over their last 10, Florida's 4-3-3. They lost their last game. Whereas Dallas, 6-3-1, and they had an overtime loss, a shootout against the Vancouver Canucks in their last game. So Dallas is going to be looking to get back on track, and maybe they can end up being third in that division after all. I think first or second are out of reach for Dallas or St. Louis, but, we'll see. Crazier things have happened, but I just can't see it. Not this late in the season. On the scoring level, Florida's doing very, very well. Over their last 10 games, Alexander Barkov, 4 goals, 14 assists for 18 points. Huberdeau, 6 goals, 11 assists. Dadonov, 3 goals, 6 assists. Hoffman, 5 goals, 4 assists. Frank Vetrano, 2 goals and an assist for him. Ekblad, 2 goals, 5 assists. And Mike Matheson, 2 goals and 2 assists for him over their last 10 games. On the Dallas side of things, Tyler Seguin, 1 goal, 6 assists. Radulov, 5 goals, 3 assists. Jamie Benn, 5 goals, 2 assists. Radek Faksa with 2 goals. Spezza with 2 assists. Klingberg, 2 goals, 6 assists. And Fedun, a goal and 2 assists for him over their last 10 games. Goaltenders, no confirmation here. So now that Montembeault has taken a loss in regulation, do they go to Luongo? Luongo's 0-2-2 in their last 10 with an 896 save percentage. Montembeault's 4-1-1 with a 900 save percentage. On the Dallas side, Bishop's listed as likely. Now, at the time I did up the board last night, I don't know, maybe he's good, maybe he's not. It's one of those secretive things. So he's likely. Hudobin, 1-2-1 over their last 10 games with a 932 save percentage. If Bishop does play, of course, he continues that shutout streak that he had going before the injury, and we'll see how long that goes against a Florida team that is very good at scoring goals. Dallas has won the only matchup between these teams this year, and yeah, we'll see how things turn out. Of course, Dallas is in the running for the Jennings Trophy, which is, I don't know, the Jennings Trophy is interesting. So you have a team that gets the best goals against average, their goaltenders get the Jennings, and then by October, we've kind of forgotten who had the Jennings the year before. The Vezina, you don't forget. The Jennings, kind of a forgettable thing, which is weird since the way we decide the Jennings is the way that they used to decide the Vezina before 1982. So that's kind of weird that we just kind of, it doesn't matter. It used to matter a lot. So Florida looking to avenge the loss they took at home against Dallas, and we'll see if they're able to do that tonight. Next up, Montreal. So the Habs, 37-28-7, in against Philly, who are 35-29-8. These teams always like each other. It's always the thing. And I expect a good matchup tonight. Philly's trying to stay in this race. The Flyers and the Blackhawks are two teams that have not admitted defeat here. They have not said, nah, we're out of it. They're not doing it. And on the road, Chicago. See, I said Chicago, and then I said, see, that's what happens. Montreal 17-16-3, whereas the Flyers are 18-14-4 at home. Over their last 10, Montreal's 4-6. They've lost 2 in a row, whereas Philly 6-3-1, and they won their last game. So for Philly, every game is a playoff game, but for Montreal, they're getting there too. They really can't. If they lose tonight, and we see a win by Columbus, that would put them 5 points back, and that would pretty much do it for them. And we'll see what happens there, because sitting with 78 points, 3 points behind Montreal, Philly wouldn't be upset if they knocked Montreal out of playoff contention. That wouldn't upset Flyers fans or players or management at all. So watch for some spoiling tonight. That being said, Montreal trying to show that the offense is still there. The goals, where are they going to come from? Could come from Gallagher. He has 4 goals and 2 assists in their last 10 games. Dano, 5 assists for him, so he's good at dishing it off. Not really a goal guy. Max Domi, 4 goals, 4 assists. Shaw, 4 goals, 2 assists. Byron, 2 goals, 4 assists. Weber with 2 goals and 3 assists. And Jordy Ben, a goal and 2 assists. On the Philly side of things, Couturier has 4 goals and 7 assists in their last 10. Voracek, 3 goals, 6 assists. James Van Riemsdyk, who is having an amazing run right now, 9 goals and 3 assists in their last 10. Giroux, 2 goals and 11 assists. Lawton with 4 goals, 2 assists. Gostisbehere, a goal and 6 assists. And Robert Haig has 4 assists. Goaltenders, I expect Carey Price. He has 4 and 5 in their last 10 with a 906 save percentage. Niemi, 0-1 with an 833 save percentage. On the Philly side, Hart is listed as likely. He's 1-1 in their last 10 with a 932 save percentage. Whereas Elliott's 4-2-1 with a 902 save percentage over that same period in time. Now, of course, the other game not on the board is from Talbot. And with Hart back and playing, and yeah, it's weird, isn't it? There's 3 goalies in Philly, and they seem to have some sort of a rotation going on. So does Talbot not play at all now that Hart's back in? I worry about things other people don't. Both teams have won a game between these two this year, so this is the 3rd and final game of the year. It's hard to go against Montreal, even though they're 4-6 in their last 10, because I don't think Montreal's out of it. And I'm waiting for a little more fight and a little more spirit of some sort from Montreal to get into this and get into the playoffs. But next up, Pittsburgh, a team that Yeah, they're going to make it. 88 points right now for them. 39, 24, and 10 is the record for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're in against the 39, 25, and 7 Carolina Hurricanes. So this is a nice test for the Canes. And a nice test for the Penguins as well. Potentially a playoff preview, maybe, could be. They're not that far away from each other. On the road, Pittsburgh's 18, 11, and 7 at home. The Carolina Hurricanes are 19, 11, and 4 over their last 10. Pittsburgh 6, 2, and 2. They lost in overtime in their last game. Of course, that was against Philly. Carolina's 7, 2, and 1. They won their last game. Now, when you look at scoring over the last 10, that definitely favors Pittsburgh because they got this guy named Crosby. The problem is, of course, Malkin is out. So with Malkin out, is that going to make it so they are a one-line team? Is that going to make it so we see an emerging star up front? Because that's usually what happens with Pittsburgh. Usually somebody comes in and has a really nice starring role while one of the superstars is out. Crosby's had 6 goals and 9 assists in the last 10 games. Jake Gensel, 7 goals, 5 assists. McCann, 4 goals, 4 assists. Bugstad, 4 goals, 1 assist. Bugstad may be called on for some more offense while Malkin is out. Hornquist, 2 goals, 3 assists. Pettersson with 3 assists. And Justin Schultz, 5 assists on the blue line for him in their last 10 games. On Carolina, Aho, 6 goals, 4 assists. Stahl, 2 goals, 5 assists. Walmark, 2 goals, 3 assists. Ferland. And if you look at a player that could really perhaps help Carolina get on a real run in the playoffs, Michael Ferland absolutely could be that guy. Goal and 2 assists for him in the last 10 games he's played. But he can really be a beast in the playoffs. Hamilton, 3 goals, 4 assists. Of course, Niederreiter with 2 goals and 5 assists. And Pesce with a goal and 7 assists to round things out for the Carolina Hurricanes. On the goaltending front, Matt Murray's listed as likely for Pittsburgh. He's 5-2 and 2 in their last 10 with a .928 save percentage. DeSmith won the other game. .974 save percentage for him, which isn't bad. That's pretty good. On the Carolina side, no confirmation, so I'll speculate Peter Mrazek. He's 4 and 1 in their last 10 with a .939 save percentage. McElhinney is 3-1 and 1 with an .894 save percentage over that same period. Both teams have won a game between these two this year, so this should be a fun one. I anticipate a lot of shots. I anticipate pretty strong goaltending on both sides. I think this is going to be a really fun game. For Carolina, at home, take advantage of that home crowd, jump on them early. Otherwise, you're leaving Pittsburgh in a game, and that's a horrible decision to make. Really and truly, it's a horrible decision to make to have Pittsburgh still in a game late. That's, yep. Next up, Columbus. So the Columbus Blue Jackets doing their best to maintain their spot in the playoffs. They're 40, 28, and 4. They get a real test tonight against Calgary. Calgary's 44, 21, and 7. Now, Calgary, over their last few weeks, they've had some challenges themselves. Very hot and cold team in Calgary. And, of course, the danger of that is if you go cold at the wrong time of the year, you're golfing way earlier than you intended. On the road, it's a very good record for Columbus. They're 20, 12, and 2. The big concern I have with Columbus is their home record. They don't play very well at home. Calgary 23, 7, and 5 at home. And of course, they've clinched a playoff spot. But because that's already done, now they can pull 3 points ahead of San Jose with a win tonight. 5, 4, and 1 in their last 10. That's the record for Columbus. They lost in overtime in their last game. The Calgary Flames are 5 and 5. They lost their last game. On the scoring side of things, Cam Atkinson, 3 goals, 2 assists for him. Duchesne, 2 goals, 2 assists. Jenner, 4 goals, 2 assists. Dzingel, 1 goal and 4 assists for him. Pierre-Luc Dubois, 1 assist in the last 10 games he's played. They'll be looking for more from him. Savard, 1 goal, 2 assists. And Nudavara with 2 assists. Threw him on the board today. On the Calgary side of things, Johnny Gaudreau, 4 goals and 8 assists in their last 10 games. Elias Lindholm, 2 goals, 6 assists. Kachuk, 8 goals, 6 assists. Backlund, 3 goals, 4 assists. Ryan, 3 goals, 2 assists. Giordano, a goal and 8 assists. Hamonic, 2 goals and an assist. And if you look at their goaltending, they haven't confirmed anything, so I can speculate. Bobrovsky, I think, has to play here. He's 5 and 3 with a .922 save percentage. Korpisalo, 0-1-1 with a 941 save percentage. Again, trying to get in the playoffs, you've got to get two things done. You got to win your games, and you got to make sure your starter's sharp. So you got to start Bobrovsky. On the Calgary side, I don't know. I mean that. I honestly don't know who you go with in that. Riddick's 4-2 in their last 10 with an 899 save percentage. Smith's 1-3 with a 906 save percentage. So Smith's numbers are a little bit better, but Riddick's win numbers are a little bit better. You'll usually go with the goalie who's most likely to get you the win, and that would probably be Riddick. This is a big game for both. Calgary won the only meeting they had this year in Columbus, but again, Columbus is better on the road than they are at home. So what better way to show that than to lose to Calgary at home and then go to Calgary and beat them at home? If, again, Montreal loses, Columbus wins, we may very well have our top 8. The funny part of that, of course, is that Montreal loses means Philadelphia wins. So Philadelphia would only be a point behind Montreal, but if Columbus wins, it's all for naught. Now, if Philly wins and Columbus loses in regulation, now you've got yourself a race, and things could get really, really interesting from there. That being said, moving along, Detroit. Toronto's in a bit here. Detroit in against the New York Rangers. Gonna be an interesting one, isn't it? I'm gonna try to make this game one that people are gonna want to watch anyways. 25-37-10 is the record for Detroit. The Rangers are 28-31-13. So, see, 71 points to 60, 56, carry the one, 69-60. I can't even say, well, Detroit, could pass them at some. I just can't see Detroit passing anybody at this stage. On the road, Detroit's 11-19-5. At home, the Rangers are 17-11-8. 2-7-1 is the record for Detroit in their last 10. They won their last game, whereas the Rangers are 1-5-4 and they lost 3 in a row. Now, Detroit started to look like their record, and this is an issue. But this might be a reason to watch the game. There are 2 guys in this game who were signed by Detroit in the last week. One who's made his debut, only played 7 minutes, was held off the score sheet, and another one making his debut tonight. Scoring in their last 10, Anthony Mantha, 2 goals and 2 assists. Bertuzzi with a goal and 2 assists. Rasmussen with a goal and an assist. Ryan Kuffner playing his second NHL game tonight. And Taro Hirose is supposed to be in the lineup tonight, so we'll see how that goes for him. Cronwall, a goal and 4 assists on the blue line. And Danny DeKeyser, a goal and 3 assists. This is why when I was talking about NCAA free agents last week, I said it's a free prospect. Go for it. Detroit's going to see what they've got with a couple of these guys. They saw Zadina for a 9-game tryout. There's a lot of reason for hope with Detroit. I know there's some Detroit fans that think I'm overly optimistic, but I still think they're going to turn this around sooner rather than later. On the Rangers side of things, Strome, 3 goals, 3 assists. Nemesnikov, 2 goals, 3 assists. Brendan Lemieux, 2 goals and 3 assists in their last 10 games. VC with a goal and an assist. Howden with a goal and an assist. Shattenkirk, 5 assists, and Brady Shea with 4 assists. On the goaltending side, no confirmation for Detroit. I go with Bernier. Howard's 1-4 in their last 10 with an 879 save percentage. Bernier's 1-3-1 with a 917 save percentage. So, between the two, yeah, Bernier's definitely playing better right now. On the Rangers side of things, Lundqvist has been confirmed. He's 1-3-1 with a 920 save percentage over their last 10. Georgiev is 0-2-3 with a 910 save percentage. Does this mean they've pulled the plug on the whole? We're going to check out Georgiev by the end of the year thing. Maybe, maybe not. Now, on the interesting side, Detroit has won both matchups with the Rangers this year. Can they make it 3 in New York? And if you need an excuse to watch this game, it is an original 6 matchup. So does that count for any? No, not. All right. Now I need to change boards and put the other 4 games up. I told you Toronto would be up later. Okay, Washington and New Jersey. I'd love to say I don't anticipate a slaughter here. I anticipate a slaughter here. Washington's 42, 23-7. New Jersey's 27, 37, and 9. Now, New Jersey's coming home off a road trip. New Jersey's record is poor. Washington needs this game because, of course, they're in a fight for first place in their division. On the road, Washington's 21, 14, and 2. At home, New Jersey 17, 12, and 6 over their last 10. Washington's 8 and 2. They lost their last game, whereas New Jersey's 2, 7, and 1, and they lost their last game as well. It was a successful road trip overall, but they're home now, and they've got a very hungry Washington Capitals team coming in. Ovechkin's got 4 goals and 6 assists in their last 10 games. Of course, he's sitting, I believe, 2 goals away from 50 right now. Jacob Vrana, 3 goals, 3 assists. Oshie, 3 goals, 5 assists. Connolly with 4 goals and 4 assists. Hagelin, 2 goals, 3 assists. Carlson, 3 goals, 6 assists. And Dmitry Orlov has 9 assists in the last 10 games of the Washington Capitals. That's not bad. On the New Jersey side, Zajac, 3 goals, 2 assists. Agostino, 2 goals, 4 assists. Kevin Rooney, 4 goals and an assist. Paul Mary has a goal and an assist in the last 10 games he's played. Coleman, 3 goals, 2 assists. Severson, 3 goals, 4 assists. And Will Butcher with 4 assists to round things out for New Jersey. Goaltending side of things, both goalies have been confirmed. Holtby's taken a seat tonight. He's 6 and 2 in their last 10 with a .914 save percentage. Copley is 2 and 0 with a .908 save percentage, and he gets a shot at New Jersey tonight. On the Devils side of things, they're going with Blackwood. He's 1 and 4 in the last 10 games for them with a .904 save percentage. Schneider's 1, 3 and 1 with a .908 save percentage. So at least Schneider's numbers have overall got better. They're still not great, but they've gotten better. Washington's won 2 out of 3 meetings between these teams. I don't see any reason why they don't win the 4th. And really, honestly, the big thing with this game, why would I watch it? A, if you're a Caps fan, to see if they can maintain their tie for first or maybe get ahead of the Islanders should the Islanders lose tonight. And 2, see if Ovechkin gets that 50th goal. So there are reasons to watch this game. I can't come up with a Devils reason to watch it other than trying to go for that number 1 shot at the draft pick at the lottery. Trying to get that, I guess. It's the one thing I can think of, maybe. All right, moving on. Edmonton. The Oilers in against St. Louis. So with the Oilers on the road now and they're pretty much done. They're 32, 33, and 7. So 10 games left. They're far enough back that I pretty much qualify them as being done. I say pretty much because Arizona at 78 points looks vulnerable. Yes, I would love to see them make the playoffs as much as anybody else would, but they do look somewhat vulnerable to me. Now, St. Louis at 37, 27, and 8. They haven't been great for about a month now. On the road, the Oilers are 16, 16, and 5 at home. St. Louis is 17, 15, and 2. Over their last 10, the Oilers are 6 and 4. They lost their last game. St. Louis is 4, 4, and 2, and their last game was an overtime loss. So, overall, the Oilers have the better record in the last 10. At home, St. Louis's record isn't great. I could see the Oilers going in and getting an upset tonight and keeping that very, very faint flame alive and keep it going. McDavid's got 4 goals and 16 assists in the last 10 games. He must know what month it is. He seems to do very well in the months of March and April. If he gets into a playoff run, who knows, right? Draisaitl, 5 goals, 10 assists over that same period. Nugent-Hopkins with 4 goals. Gagne, 2 goals, 3 assists. Jujhar Khaira with 2 assists. Clefbaum, a goal and 3 assists. And Chris Russell with a goal and 4 assists. On the St. Louis side, Ryan O'Reilly, 2 goals, 4 assists. Maroon, 3 goals, 3 assists. Thomas, 2 goals, 5 assists. Jaden Schwartz with a goal and an assist. Braden Shen, 3 goals, 3 assists. Parayko with 6 assists. And Pietrangelo, 3 goals, 3 assists for him to round out the scoring for St. Louis. Goaltenders, no confirmation, so I'll speculate on Edmonton's side. Koskinen. It's been Koskinen. It will likely be Koskinen. He's 6 and 3 in his last 10, or in their last 10, I should say, with a .907 save percentage, whereas Stolar's 0 and 1 with a .909 save percentage. Again, I'm not a big big believer in the contract they gave Koskinen. I think he started a ton of games. I think the plan is he's going to be a workhorse. They're another team I'm going to watch what they do in the offseason when it comes to goaltending. It can be very interesting. Bennington's been confirmed as the starter tonight for St. Louis. He's 3-2 over their last 10 games with a .922 save percentage. And Jake Allen, the guy with no goal support, he's 1-2-2 in their last 10 with a .920 save percentage. So he has a good save percentage, goals against, all those things, just doesn't get the wins. Both teams have won a game between them this year. This is the third and final meeting. And honestly, I could see Edmonton winning this one. I'm not putting up an Akbar magnet because Edmonton's still in the running and St. Louis is not in the clear. But I could see a situation emerging where Dallas is third in the division again by the end of tonight. But I digress. Next up, Toronto. So if the Leafs are going to break out of this, going into Nashville and getting a win would feel pretty darn good, right? Especially since Nashville went in and got a win against Toronto earlier in the year. Now, 43-24-5 is Toronto's record. If you read media reports right now on hockey sites in Canada, any of them, almost any of them, you would be pretty sure they were going to miss the playoffs, or at the very least that they're barely clinging to a playoff spot when that really isn't true. They're in against Nashville, who are 41-27-5. So Toronto is 4 points clear of Nashville, and yet you don't hear as much panic with Nashville. And again, I get it. The Toronto media is the biggest of the hockey medias and the hockey fan base and all that stuff. But I think the over-analysis is kind of crazy. On the road, Toronto is 21-10-4. At home, Nashville's 22-13-1. So both teams very good in this environment. Toronto's 5-4-1 in their last 10. They did lose their last game against Ottawa. And they're not playing great hockey. But again, they don't really have to. So for Toronto, if they win tonight and Boston loses tonight, we get right back into that conversation of them being in a position to be second in the division. If they lose tonight, Boston wins tonight, then we're into a conversation of, all right, so Toronto's starting the playoffs on the road. Over their last 10, Nashville's 5-5. They've had 2 wins. So both teams have won 5 of their last 10. But again, you're going to hear a lot of panic about one and not so much about the other. On the top 10, or in their last 10 games side of things, Mitch Marner, 3 goals, 11 assists. Tavares, 5 goals, 8 assists. Austin Matthews with 4 goals and 4 assists. I think he's been playing well lately, but man, again, you read in the media. Nylander, 1 goal, 7 assists. Marleau, 2 goals and 3 assists. Morgan Riley, 5 goals, 2 assists. And Jake Muzzin, 3 goals and 5 assists. It's insane that Jake Muzzin's scoring so many points for Toronto. Just is. He's not really that kind of defenseman. Not on this level, so it's been impressive. On the Nashville side of things, Forsberg, 4 goals, 2 assists. Arvidsson, 5 goals, 2 assists. Granlund, 1 goal, 3 assists. Neither Granlund nor Simmons have been a major factor for the Nashville Predators yet. And I think that's concerning when you look at what Granlund might command in his next contract, and when you look at the fact that Simmons is a rental. Bonino, a goal and 2 assists. Sissons, 3 goals and an assist. Yossi with a goal and 3 assists. And PK Subban with 2 goals, 2 assists for the Nashville Predators. On the goaltending side of things, no confirmation, so I'll speculate. Anderson, 5-1-1 in their last 10 with an .894 save percentage. You kind of got to go with him here because Sparks is 0-3 in their last 10 with an .884 save percentage. And at the start of the year, Sparks was seen as this bright, shiny new goaltender, and he's going to be great. And it's totally, we're going to have him. He's going to be the backup. Right now, he's the worst goalie in the world, according to some. It's so weird how that works. Couple of bad games, and all of a sudden, oh, he's the worst ever. We can't stand. Oh, I never liked him. But back there, you said you did. No, I didn't. You did though. Rinne, I would expect to start here for Nashville. He's 2-3 in their last 10 with an .884 save percentage. So same save percentage over the last 10 as Sparks has had in his last 3, and yet nobody complains too much about Rinne. And I know people are going to say, oh, that's not a fair comparison. I'm just saying. Couple of bad games doesn't ruin a goaltender to me. Saros 2-2 with a .929 save percentage over that same period. Nashville won the only matchup these teams have had so far, which was in Toronto. Now let's see if Nashville can win the game at home. Again, I'm going to be interested to see how the media treats it, because that's always the fun part. Last game, Colorado win against Minnesota. These games very often are high scoring. Can be lopsided. We'll see how things work out tonight. Minnesota needs this desperately. Arizona loses last night in Tampa. Everybody loses in Tampa. That being said, it is a loss, and it opens a window for these guys here. They have 77 points. They can jump past Arizona and put more pressure on the Coyotes. Or if they lose tonight in regulation, it could end up all being for naught, right? And for Colorado, they don't want to get forgotten either. They have 74 points. They're 4 points out. If they lose this game in regulation, that's going to make it a heck of a lot more difficult for them to get into the playoffs. They're 31, 29, and 12. The other thing that makes it difficult is they don't have as many wins as the teams they're trying to catch. 34, 30, and 9 is the record of the Minnesota Wild over the season. On the road, Colorado is 15, 15, and 6 at home. Minnesota's 15, 15, and 7. So that's the other problem, is that Minnesota's home record is not good enough. Over their last 10, both teams have won 4 games. Colorado 4, 5, and 1. They won their last game, whereas Minnesota's 4, 3, and 3. They had an overtime loss in their last game. Over their last 10 games, McKinnon, 5 goals, 6 assists for the Colorado Avalanche. Rantanen, 6 goals and 2 assists. Andrighetto, a goal and 3 assists. Soderberg with 2 assists, and JT Compher, a goal and 3 assists. To round out the forwards, Tyson Barrie, 3 goals, 5 assists, and Patrick Nemeth with an assist in the last 10 games from the blue line in Colorado. On the Minnesota Wild side of things, Zach Parise, a goal and 3 assists. Nice to see him get back up to the almost a point a game that he was at for a lot of this season. Fiala, 2 goals and an assist. Donato, 3 goals and 6 assists, so he's been excellent. Fair, 2 goals, 3 assists. Foligno, a goal and 2 assists. Spurgeon, 2 goals, 2 assists. And Ryan Suter with a goal and 4 assists. On the goaltending side, both goalies confirmed in this one. Varlamov will have a seat. He's 2-3-1 in their last 10 with an .899 save percentage, whereas Grubauer, 2-2 with a .959 save percentage. Yep, he's going to try to do for Colorado what he did for Washington last year, and so far, it looks like he has an excellent chance at it. Minnesota, however, is going to look to stop that. Dubnyk's the starter tonight. He's 4-3-1 in their last 10 with a .911 save percentage. Stalock, 2 losses after regulation, .906 save percentage for him in their last 10 games. Minnesota has won 2 out of 3 meetings between these teams this year. We'll see if they can make it 3 out of 4, or if Colorado can come back and tie this series between these teams. Again, every game's a must-win for Colorado, but we're getting to the point where every game may very well be a must-win for Minnesota. So there you go. You guys are all caught up on tonight's action. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.